Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Don Shade.
Hello, my friend and future millionaire. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Don Shade. Well, if you're still listening after the Phase 2 Tough Love episode, I guess you're ready to move forward onto the next steps. Do you realize that there are people that got offended by the way I talked to you in the last podcast? Telling you, if you want it nice, go to church. If you want a friend, buy a dog. That kind of stuff upset them, and they left it screw up their path to their dream. Hopefully, you're not one of those people. You know, I'm pretty outspoken. I'm a straightforward type of guy. I look the world in the eye. And what's going to happen with you, the longer that you're in business and the more you do something like this, the wealthier you become, the more you're going to turn into that type of person that people that used to intimidate you really don't anymore, because you know what you're doing outside of, let's say, the corporate world, so to speak. You know, when this whole thing started, I was one of those guys. If you shook my hand, odds were good I wouldn't look you in the eye, because my self-confidence was down. Being somebody that had cerebral palsy and so-called handicapped compared to the rest of the world, I just didn't feel that I stood up to where everybody else was, until I got my business rolling and I was starting to see some success. Then I started to get the self-confidence that I needed. It came over time of dealing with people. And as we move forward into this phase 2, what I want you to realize, the first thing we're going to look at is, what is it that you have total control over in your life? What is it that no matter what happens on a day-to-day basis, it's up to you to make this decision and move things forward? Well, the answer to that is this. I don't care whether you're a billionaire or whether you're flat broke. The one key thing that we all have is 24 hours in a day. Nobody gets any more, nobody gets any less. The only difference between you and that billionaire is the way you spend that 24 hours. You know, I'm going to take a second here and share a story with you. Back when I was a teenager, my dad would talk to me and kind of coach me, you know, when I was looking for my first job and that sort of thing. And what my dad would say to me was, listen, you're not on equal ground with everybody else. Your legs aren't as good. I'm not necessarily as fast as what somebody else is. I can't control all that. That's the hand I was dealt. But what I can control is I'm there every day. I'm on time every day. I do the best I can for that 8 hours. That's the way I want you to look at your business. I want you to make the choice that when you're working in your business, you're going to make that time count. Well, once again, this was just something to make you think. That's everything I have for this episode of the Money Wheel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.